Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar about ports and logistics in the global trade. I am Marla Hazley. I'm part of the recruitment at Acsenda School of Management in beautiful Vancouver, Canada. And to start off our program, we are here, our director of our recruitment, Dr. Javier Torres, who will be talking about the Acsenda programs and anything that you need to know about Acsenda.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Marla, and welcome everyone to this fantastic session that we have prepared for you today. We will be going over very interesting information, of course, especially because we have the honor and pleasure of having Dr. Fuat, who's directing the BBA International Business Management, and he has a fantastic and well-prepared presentation on ports and logistics within global trade, of course. So let's first talk about Canada. So we're actually located, Acsenda School of Management is located in Vancouver, Canada. It's a fantastic place for international business and anything related to ports and logistics. We specialize in business administration programs, hospitality management, and we wanted to bring you this information today so you can understand and comprehend how our programs relate to international business and more to do with ports and logistics. Next slide, please. Excellent. So as I was saying, we specialize in business management to do with, we actually have a Bachelor of Business Administration with 8 different concentrations. We're going to go over the concentrations and provide information on each one of those. We do have a Bachelor of Hospitality Management as well, where we have internships where students can join the program and eventually they're going to be doing an internship with the Hilton here in Vancouver. We have 40 different nationalities represented on our population. We, of course, are fully accredited, and we have information that will be presenting why we're connecting people and professions. Next slide, please. Excellent. So as I briefly mentioned, we have the Bachelor of Business Administration, and we do have a Bachelor of Hospitality Management. Today, we're going to be speaking about the BBA, Bachelor of Business Administration, with concentration in International Business Management, and obviously more specifically to ports and logistics in global trade. Next slide, please. Excellent. So in terms of the concentrations that I briefly mentioned before, our Bachelor of Business Administration has 8 different areas of concentration. So you're looking at them right now. So we have accounting, financial management, human resources management, international business, which is the program that we're showcasing today, management information systems, marketing management, real estate management, and general business management. Next slide, please. Our Bachelor of Hospitality Management is a 4-year degree program, and this program provides a 6-month paid internship that is actually coordinated by us here at Acsenda, so the students will not have to worry about having to find their own placement. That's something that has already been coordinated by us, and it's included in the program. In this case, it's a Bachelor of Hospitality Management. Next slide, please. In terms of the intakes, we have 4 intakes per year. So we have January, April, July, and October. And we're currently taking applications for April and July of 2026. In terms of the admission requirements, all students will have to coordinate and upload into the into the admissions portal their passport, academic transcripts, a copy of their diploma, high school that is. If any of the audience members have taken university courses, they're welcome to submit their academic transcripts from university and a copy of their diploma if they have already graduated, a statement of purpose, which is a form that we can provide, and their English proficiency through either IELTS or TOEFL or any of the other approved English tests that we can give you a link to so you can access that information. But without further ado, I'm going to pass it on to the director of our fantastic Bachelor of Business Administration with concentration in International Business Management, Dr. Fuat Ramazanov.
Thank you, Javier. Thank you, Marla, for great start and great introduction. I just want to make sure that everyone can hear me. Just sound check, all good. Okay. And there are also some messages, Marla. I saw you responded in the chat. Thank you very much. Uh, Before I begin, I would also like to acknowledge that we are presenting today from traditional lands of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh First Nation. This is the protocol that we normally follow when we do presentations in Canada. And it was great that Javier, on the first slide, one of the first slide demonstrated the students who received the award from EDC, but we have many other students who receive similar and other awards as well. So that's also part of what our students are getting while studying in international business management and other concentrations here at Acsenda. So Marla, please move on. So today I will be speaking about my concentration, international trade, and specifically in the focus on ports and logistics. So here's a condition of usage if you're watching it later or um, the recording. So make sure that you don't use the photos without proper acknowledgement and request, because all these photos belong to me. I've been taking them myself while different visits to ports with our students. Please move on. Thank you. So I will be talking, yeah, we can move to the next slide. So that's the agenda. So I will be talking about the Port of Vancouver. So Port of Vancouver is the largest Canadian port. It is a very diverse port, and it facilitates trade, Canadian trade with many geographies. So the Port of Vancouver connects Canada to market in many countries around the world. And can you guess how many? If you're watching this video later, you can pause and just give a try. But if you click next, Marla, so the actual number is 170 countries around the world. So this is how Port of Vancouver connect. These countries are in Asia, in Americas, in Africa, in Europe, everywhere in the world. So, and it's also enabling a trade of approximately 300 billion. This is 2024 statistics. In the previous years, it was lower. So it shows that the trade and volume of goods handled through the port are growing year after year. Yes, why location matters. Here's a snapshot from Google Earth I made while preparing this presentation. I tried to make a best, this is my best try, I think. This snapshot shows the Asian part on the left, where the arrow starts, and United States and Canada on the right side. And geography matters in supply chain. So when you study supply chain and international trade, one thing you will learn is definitely that we want things get delivered fast. And in today's market environment, in the world of competition, so companies try to deliver things fast to their clients because of consumer demands, consumer preferences have changed and evolved, and delivery time matters. So, and geography matters as well. So Canada has a strategic advantage in terms of its location. In the province of British Columbia, we have two ports. One is the port of Vancouver and one of the ports of Prince Rupert. And these are the two closest ports to Asia compared to many other ports on the west coast of North America. And if you click next, Marla, this gives Canada obviously, and two more times, this gives Canada an advantage in terms of delivery. Just to give you some numbers, the things get delivered to Vancouver 3 days faster than to Port of Los Angeles, which is also a very large port, the largest port on the west coast. If you click next, Marla, two times, I think I have some more text there. Yeah. And getting delivered things faster means that it will obviously enhance supply chain speed, as I mentioned, but it's also cost efficient. So getting delivered things faster means consumers will get things faster, items will sit on shelves shorter, and that will also increase cost efficiency. And of course, reliability. In today's market, clients want things get delivered fast, and Canada has this geographical advantage, which it uses, and Port of Vancouver is one of such ports on the west coast, as I said. On average, you may ask how long it takes to get things delivered from, let's say, China to Vancouver. Again, it depends on many factors. It depends on how many times the container ship, if I speak about container, can stop at other ports. But on average, it takes 11 to 12 to 13 to 14, 15 days, 2 weeks, like to get delivered to from Asia by sea, by ocean. But if you do it by land, it's of course longer. It will go through whole Asia, then Europe, then from European ports to ports on east coast of Canada, and then come to Port of Vancouver. That will be a very long route. So that's why shipping by ship is a much faster and more efficient way, and it's also a different regulation there. Yeah, you can move next. So I'll give some more information about the Port of Vancouver. Canada is a trading nation, so we are the nation with abundant quantity of natural resources, um, different natural resources such as lumber, such as oil and gas, such as agricultural products. So we trade these commodities on international markets. So we sell them and we buy things that we don't have here in abundance, right? So every country has what you will learn in the courses, a competitive advantage. So something that country does better than other countries, and other countries do something better maybe than Canada does. So, and we exchange what we do better to something that other countries do better. Because of our climate, for example, we may not grow all tropical fruits here, for example, right? But we can do other things. So what Canada has in great quantity we sell, and that's called export. And if we need something we buy, that's called import. Yeah, and we need ports because ports facilitate international trade. So they're gateways. So that's a term that you will also learn studying supply chain logistics. So gateways are opening cities or opening ports into the country. They typically sit on the edges close to the ocean. Yeah, you can click next, Marla. I will be just telling you. There's a couple of bullet points there. You can go ahead. Yeah. So Port of Vancouver is larger than the next 5 ports in Canada combined. So that's just to give you some understanding how big the port is. And it's also fourth in North America by tonnage. And it's also facilitate trade with countries other than United States. I see something else on the screen, Marla. Yeah, thank you. If you just click next. Yeah, it's also important to mention that port facilitates lots of jobs. The number you see here, it's not the jobs directly related to the port. This is the jobs that are created because of the port activity. So that can be different warehouses, different transportation company, different logistics service providers, brokers, etc. So this is all generated because of port activity. And this port is not only it has significance not only for the province of British Columbia, it has significance for all Canada. So many other provinces, such as province of Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, which are far away from the province of British Columbia, hundreds of kilometers, thousands of kilometers, they also ship their commodities through the Port of Vancouver. Yeah, if you click next. So here's an interesting question. And again, if you're watching this later, you can always stop and just give it a try. So the question is, what percentage of Asian manufacturing cars that come to Canada through Port of Vancouver? Just give it a try. And the right answer is 99%, which is actually which actually means that all cars that come from Asia, they come through Port of Vancouver. So these are some brands that we all know, like Toyota, Hyundai, Mazda, and other brands. So they come to Canada through one of the Port of Vancouver terminals. Yeah, you can go next, Marla. And speaking of terminals, when we say actually port, we actually means terminals. So the port is a collection, I don't know if it's the right word, or a group of different terminals. And terminals are grouped by the type of cargo they handle. So the easiest way to understand the cargo types is just ABC abbreviation, which you can see on the screen. So A stands for automobiles, B stands for bulk and break bulk, and C stands for containers and cruise. I'll just describe it a little bit. So automobiles is the terminal, so which handles automobiles or anything that moves on wheels. That can also be buses, that can also be construction equipment. So we have 2 terminals here on the Port of Vancouver that handles automobiles. There's a specific type of ship that handles them, and every terminal has a specific type of equipment that handles cargo. So on the left, you see a picture that we took last month, Javier and I believe Marl as well. So we went to Neptune Terminal. He is in North Vancouver, and it handles bulk. So the image on the bottom of the screen, you see the bulk. So bulk is a commodity that examples of bulk can be sugar, can be salt, can be grain. It's a dry bulk, but can also be liquid bulk, such as LNG, such as canola oil, that doesn't really go into a container. And it doesn't, so it just requires special handling. So that's why it's bulk. So the ship that you see on the top is the bulk ship. So different types of terminals, they handle different types of cargo, and that's why they have different types of ship that handle this cargo. So every terminal has a specific focus, and some of them focus on export, some of them focus on import, and some of them focus on both export and import. So when we explain our students export and import, we also bring the case studies from our visit, and if situation permits, we also take students to this terminal so they can learn and see this firsthand and understand how trade is facilitated in Canada. Yeah, and the then is sorry, if you go back, I didn't finish there, Marla. Yeah, so containers, and it's something that um, uh, goes into containers, and I would say 90% of the global trade is handled by containers, and in containers we put everything like TVs, like computers, like refrigerators, sometimes even cars. They also can go into containers, like specific cars, some equipment. So that's containers and cruise. So we have also one of the Canada's largest cruise terminals here in British Columbia, and the cruise here departs to even Alaska, beautiful west coast. If you come to Vancouver, this is probably will be one of the first thing you will see if you go to a walk in the city. So cruise terminal is located in a place that is accessible by public. It's a beautiful walk there. Yeah, now you can move on. Thank you. So this map shows the location of the terminals. Oftentimes, when my colleagues introduce Acsenda, when they speak about Vancouver, they speak about the beauty of the city, but actually Vancouver is the port city, and as I mentioned previously, is the word gateway city. So this city is the port city, and it's the port that facilitates the trade that moves the economy of the province, the economy of the country, and ports has a significant role in province and Canadian economy. So that needs to be acknowledged. And this map shows the location of different terminals. As I said, when we say port, we actually mean a group of terminals. And if you look at the map closely, so all this shows the location of different terminals, which are across the whole lower mainland. So that's how we call this area. Our Acsenda is located, I believe here, if I'm not wrong, on the map. So it's also very close to some of the terminals, which can be one of, I already mentioned, cruise terminal, which students can even go and see uh, even with a short walk from our campus. And there's also some other container terminals, which are also in close proximity. So there are many, many different terminals. If you live in this area, you will be commuting, you will see many of them. So it's very interesting to live in the city that which moves global goods, because we not only facilitate trade for our province, as I said, but we also facilitate trade for other provinces. You will see many trucks, trains moving through the province. So that's fascinating. If you go next now, yeah. I also brought like examples of some of the terminals that we visited with our students, and that's kind of interesting to mention here. So one terminal is export focused terminal. So export is when Canada sell to international markets. And as I said, Canada is a trading nation. And one such terminal is Neptune Terminal, located in the North Vancouver. That's a city in the lower mainland. And this terminal is owned by two different companies, and its main focus is export of two commodities. One is potash, and one is steelmaking coal. So for those of you who don't know, potash is a component and very important in agricultural business. So many countries around the world really depends on potash as a fertilizer to grow their crops. And Canada is the largest producer of potash in the global market. And the province of Saskatchewan, if you look at the map later, you will see the province of Saskatchewan is located in the center of Canada, and the potash from this province is shipped to international markets through Port of Vancouver. So the producers in the port in Saskatchewan, they're really interested to operate this terminal, because it really helps them to facilitate the move of their produce to global market, mainly Asia, but it also ships to other countries, like to Brazil, to some countries in Asia, to Indonesia and other countries. So China as well. And if I'm not wrong, Morocco as well. So different countries around the globe. And the second product that is being shipped through this terminal is steel making coal. And the photo on the right with the student you see stands in front of this large, huge piece of machinery which handles the steel making coal. It offloaded from rail cars coming from provinces from British Columbia as well, from Alberta, and then it also moves it to international market. So during our visit, for example, we have seen how these products, both potash and steel making coal, were shipped to on ships and later destined to countries, I believe, in Asia and South America. Yeah, and we went inside the facility where we oversaw how trains move, how commodities being loaded into different shapes. So that was very exciting experience for our students. We take all these pictures and we make a case study so students who learn it later in the class, so they also have information and understanding how the things precisely work in real time. This happened last month, so the example that you see on the slide here. And the next slide is a container terminal. So we visited also with students container terminal. So previous one was in ABC classification B, bulk materials. So here as we speak about C, container. Remember ABC I mentioned previously. So C, container terminal, we have 4 container terminals and we visited with our students 2 of them multiple times. And Delta Port is Canada's largest container terminal. It's located in the city, as the name suggests, Delta. It can accommodate some of the large container ships that exist today. Yeah, and usually during our visits, we see the operations. It's a public tours. They're available for public, and when the opportunity exists, we take students so students can see the operations of the terminal, including movement, unloading, and offloading cargo and goods from the ships onto the ships. Yes, I also put together some information about the export and import of different commodities. Again, Canada is a trading nation, so we sell what we have in abundance and we buy what we don't have in abundance, and that's a competitive advantage of every country. So some countries have abundance of natural resources and other countries don't have abundance of natural resources. They need to buy them, but they produce other goods and services which they exchange on a global market. So Canada sells, which is export, more of the crude oil. So we also sell grain. So Canada is also one of the largest producers of grain and is also exporters of grain on the global market. Also canola oil. So we also potash. I previously mentioned potash. So we have one of the largest producers of potash, and province of Saskatchewan contributing a lot to that. Coal as well. So we also play a significant role in the trade of coal. There are 2 types of coal. I mentioned previously steel making coal, but there's also coal for heating. Not many countries around the world, for environmental reasons, use coal for heating, but there are some countries which still use it. And there's another terminal where we also went with students on the West Shore. They ship coal for heating purposes. So that coal comes from British Columbia, province of British Columbia, where we're in province of Alberta, but it also comes from the United States. So and this is a very interesting example, which shows that even United States producers of coal, they rely on Port of Vancouver for international shipments. So as I said, this is because of geography, because of location, but it also because of the capabilities of the terminals, of the machinery that they have there and the capacity that they have. So at times some ports can be busy and it's easier to find, let's say US ports can be busy and it's easier to involve Canadian ports to accommodate that shipment. Of course, it's good for Canada, and this happens. Speaking about imports, we buy automobiles. I mentioned them previously from Asia, from the States. They come. We also buy consumer electronics, things like iPads, things like TVs, things like computers, equipment and machinery, different type of equipment and machinery, clothing, obviously, and chemicals. These are just some examples. Of course, there's many other examples. And in terms of cooperation, Because of geographical location, obviously, lots of trade happen between Canada and US. So I think these are among the top trading nations around the globe. But internationally, outside of US, Canada has lots of trade with countries in Asia. So that's why if you look in the list now, you will see many countries in Asia dominating the list. So in terms of export, this is what Canada sell internationally. These are China, Japan, South Korea, India, Indonesia, Taiwan, Bangladesh. So, but we also have lots of trade happening between South America and Central America countries as well. In terms of import, this is what Canada buys. So we have goods coming from also Asian countries, which is also interesting. And that's the items that you also see on the left, on the top, so electronics such as cars, automobiles, etc. Yes. Yeah, I tried to cover as much as I could during this time.
Thank you for that wonderful information about our ports and logistics in Vancouver. Yeah, we are also part of some of the tours where Javier and I are a part of the tour, and it was very interesting to know about the coals and the salt that we saw. It was large infrastructure that we have here in Vancouver, not only in Vancouver, but um, in BC, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
speaking of that, I think it was maybe in the slides that we may have skipped. Our institution has affiliations and partnership with different organizations in Canada, and two of these organizations are specifically focused on supply chain logistics and trade. One is the FITT, Forum of International Trade and Training. It's FITT. So Acsenda students who are enrolled in IBM, International Business Management Program, so they get um, membership with this organization through which they receive textbooks, they receive other information, they also have access to job posting information. And while studying at Acsenda, they prepare for the exams with these institutions, and at the end of their studies, they can sit for two exams, which gives them this advantage because otherwise they need to take extra 6 courses with these institutions. But because of our relations and agreement, so and because they acknowledge our program and the quality of it, our students only take 2 exams at the end of their studies, and upon successful completion, they receive the diplomas from these organizations, which are acknowledged by Government of Canada and highly stand on your resume. So we always encourage our students to do so, and many of our students have successfully passed these exams. Another organization we are affiliated with is CITT, is Canadian Institute of Traffic and Transportation. This is the only Canadian logistics association. So we are one of accredited partners to offer the courses and content in Canada. And upon successful completion of courses in these concentrations, in this specialization, so students receive CCLP designation, which is also highly valued in Canadian job market, specifically in the areas of supply chain logistics. I just thought this would be important to mention this today.
Yeah, thank you for what. That's only part of the international business management program that we have here in Acsenda. But if you want to know more about our programs, Javier is here. Do you want to add something?
Absolutely. What a fantastic and robust presentation on ports and logistics. So this is just a opportunity, of course, for you to understand how we operate in terms of providing a program that relates to opportunities. So that's what we're all about, connecting people and professions. I've had the opportunity to join a couple of field trips to our ports here in Vancouver, and what a fantastic experience that was. Obviously, speaking about ports and logistics and containers is one thing, but actually being in one of the ports is a total different experience. So what we try to do here at Acsenda is basically connect our academics with opportunities where you as a student will be able to understand and relate the information that you're receiving in class for better understanding. Fuat is a fantastic professional who I really admire, and he has tons and tons of experience when it comes to logistics, international trade, global trade, of course. So this is a fantastic opportunity. Should you be interested in taking this conversation further and understanding what the admission process looks like and the application process looks like, we will be sending you a follow-up newsletter where you would be able to book a time with one of us in recruitment. And we can, of course, dedicate 30 minutes to you uh, to explain the process, look into what program would be the best fit for you, depending on your interest and where you see yourself in 2 to 3 years, 5 years. And these sessions are very dynamic and they're geared towards finding you the proper program for your needs and your interests. So we thank you very much for the opportunity and the time that you have dedicated to this presentation. And obviously, I appreciate the support from my colleagues as well.
Thanks again, everyone, for taking the time to attend this webinar. And we hope to see you again in our next events. And we hope to see you soon here in Acsenda. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you much.